No, I was not even. There we go. Unmute. Let's try the. Let's try to unmute. Let's try this one more time. June 3rd, 2025. I'm Joey Ragona. We are here for another heart-centered marketing show. I'm super excited today because I've got a whole bunch of stuff to share with you. I'm looking over here at my notes. I've got some notes that I want to reference because I want to share with you like how to get really crystal clear and zoom in on marketing messages for your dream clients and all that really cool stuff. I will share the notes with you. So that's another bonus that's already setting up. So I'm a little bit behind here in setting things up. So I'm going to set up also my iPad here so I could see any comments coming in from the Facebook group, by the way. So if you're on the Facebook group, this is the way that I see them. And if you are here live on the other channels, let me know with a hashtag live or hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. It's kind of weird when I say that at the front of the show, but anyway, we're going to do that. Let's see here if I can get this happening and make sure that I can see everything going on. Okay. Just give me 1 second here. There, I think I've got comments coming in from the Facebook group. There we go. Cool. So if you're here live, let me know with a hashtag live and a hashtag replay. I'm going to be referencing my notes here. So let me just set up my documents here so I could make sure that I am not looking away too much from the camera. But I do want to make sure that I'm referencing everything here. Cool. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is the difference between implied needs and explicit needs. Now, I've been marketing forever, but that doesn't mean that I'm the absolute perfect marketer ever or copywriter. But I've been working with this stuff for a very, very long time, and I still struggle sometimes with the implicit needs, or the implied needs and the explicit needs. And once you understand the difference of the two, you will never unsee them again. So I know that a lot of us, including myself, we talk in implied needs. And they're like, what the better way to look at this is that they are surface level needs. They're very vague. And I'll give you an example of this. I have the example here. So an example would be, I need more clients. I'm overwhelmed. I just wish marketing was easier. And so when we're looking at marketing messages, or when you do research and a coach like me would say, look, what does your clients say? This is the stuff that I get back. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely cool, but we need to go deeper. And this is where my work with everybody that I work with, sometimes they get frustrated because they don't know what it is, but that's the job we need to do. We have to get inside our client's head so that we can explain it better than they can really articulate it. So if someone says, I need more clients, that's not deep enough. That we need to get deeper. So an example of this, okay, might be an explicit need, which is better than I need more clients, would be, I need a system that books 3 calls a week for me, so I'm not guessing where clients come from. That's it's explicit. You see the difference between what's the problem? I need more clients to I need a sales system or an AI agent built that gets 3 clients, 3 sales calls a week. So I always know that my calendar's filled, or that I'm going to be speaking to somebody in a way that, that more leads are coming in this way. So that's what explicit needs are. They are the implied needs is vague. It's very surface level. By the way, hi everybody coming in. If you are watching me on the YouTubes or the Facebooks or the Facebook group, I'm looking down here, by the way, at my my iPad to see if there's any comments coming in from my Facebook group, because that's the only way I can see them. But let me know if you have a comment, you have a question, feedback, or just hit feedback or a hashtag live or a hashtag replay. And I do have notes for you that I'm going to share. So the notes that I'm reading from here, with some really cool stuff that I'm going to share with you. I'm also going to share with you an AI prompt that you can use to help you with all this stuff and really make things streamlined for you. So at the top of the hour right now, if you want the notes, just put the word notes inside the comments and I will make sure that it gets to you. But I'm not going to share them yet. I'm going to go through them with you, and I'd love to hear from you any comments or questions that you have during the conversation. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm on the Facebook group or not. I want to make sure, give me 1 second here, that I am on the right one. Let's see here. Let's go here. I think it might be in here. Da-da-da. Technology, right? You got to love it. Okay. There we go. There. Yeah, I was on the wrong one because now I can see Collie. Hi, Collie. You're in the Facebook group. Love that you're here. Thank you for being here. Okay, cool. And so this is the, let me just go over this again. Quick definitions of what a implied need is and what an explicit need is. Implied needs are the stuff that we always hear. They're surface level stuff, and it's not good enough. We start there, but we want to get really deep. So the example I have here is I need more clients, right? You might hear that, or I'm overwhelmed, or I just wish marketing were easier. Those sound cool, like that's a problem, which it is, but they're not deep enough. So, as the example I gave you, so if you say a customer says, I need more clients, then a better one, an explicit need, which is why you have to do the work, and I'm going to show you how to do the work to get a little bit deeper, is I need a system that books 3 sales calls per week for me, so I'm not guessing where my clients are coming from. Okay. Why does all of this matter? This matters because your connecting with implied needs makes your message broad and just forgettable. So when I'm dealing with clients and asking them what they do, their implied needs sounds like everybody else, right? And so I'm not pointing any fingers. I don't want to be that guy, but at the same time, I got to make sure that you know that the work, when I ask you to go deeper, there's a reason for it, because you want to be able to stand out, and everybody talks about standing out, but many people don't know really how to do it, or whoever's telling you to stand out doesn't show you how to stand out. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So when you are talking from the explicit need, the actual thing that they want, you will start hearing things like, wow, it's like you're in my head. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's exactly what you want, right? So most clients can only articulate implied needs, or most people can only articulate those implied needs. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to give you a conversion exercise. And by the way, if you want my notes that I'm looking at here, teaching you with, just reply or put them in the comments, notes, and I will get them to you. And you will love it. Okay. So this is a conversion exercise. I want you to do this with me. We'll do it step by step. So I want to take an implied typical need that I hear a lot of, which is, I just want my business to grow. Like that's it. So if I say, hey, Narcissa, nice to see you. Thank you for watching. So I say to Narcissa, hey, what's going on? And she says, I just want my my business to grow. That's an implied thing. So that's not really marketing. I can't really say, go out there and say, hey, do you want your business to grow? Well, I can help you. It's not deep enough. So what I want to do is I want to be able to dig deeper when I'm having this conversation. In this case, I'll use Narcissa as as the example. So I want to dig deeper. And this is where the work that I have been doing over the last 5 years alone, talking about chat conversations, or you've probably heard sell by chat and all these other things. This is the work that I'm talking about, not where you DM somebody and say, hey, notice you're a coach, or notice you got this. Did you know that I got this this free thing, or you want to get on a discovery call? Like that's not what I'm talking about when we're doing sell by chat or conversations in chat and that kind of thing. What I'm talking about is right here, what I'm teaching you, which is you want to engage in a conversation that helps you understand your clients better. And if you just did this for the next week and you had 20 conversations, not sales conversations, but deep digging conversations, so you understand what truly I just want my business to grow means, you're going to change the game for yourself. And none of your competitors are doing this. So here's what I would do. So dig deeper. I just want my business to grow. Great. Well, then what would that actually look like for you if it worked? So I want to know when I'm speaking to Narcissa, in this case, what does it work? Look, great. You want your business to grow. What does that look like? I don't understand what that means for you. So I want to know what I'm trying to look for is, well, a little bit of the pain, the crisis, what that I call it, but I want to know what the dream is. I want to know what the dream come true is. Okay. So then if she tells me that, like, here's what it looks like, then what's the first thing you do if you had that? And by the way, I'm going to give you all these notes. So you don't have to write them down, but if you want to write them down or ask questions, by the way, through this conversation we're having right now, I'd love to bounce off of you, because I do better when I'm challenged with questions or have to answer some things. So just drop them in the chat, and I would be happy to answer anything. So just drop the word notes if you want the notes, or better yet, even just put some questions and feedback from me inside the comments. Okay, so the next thing. So what would that actually look like if it worked? Okay, when somebody says, I want to grow, I don't want to be overwhelmed, like whatever. What's the first thing that you would do if you had that? Right? So I want to know when they get to that oasis, I call it the oasis or the dream island, I want to know what's going to happen. What's their life look like? What does it feel like? And so when I'm talking about this in Atlas, or I'm talking about this in my academy, when I'm talking about the oasis and dream, this is where a lot of times we get frustrated. A lot of times clients will get frustrated because they don't know what the answer is. And this is how you get the answer, because I don't care about, well, I'm going to feel great, or I'm going to be making more money. It doesn't matter what that is. It's more about, okay, what does feel great feel like? Like, can you describe that for me? Okay, so here is the result. Um, an example. So I need a 90-day roadmap to reach 5K a month, so I know exactly what to focus on weekly. That is an explicit need. So if somebody tells me that and they say, well, I want my business to grow, and I dig deeper and they say, man, if I just knew exactly what to do every single week, a roadmap, a checklist that would get me to 5K a month, that would be so awesome. Now I have an explicit need. I have an explicit want, not just I want to grow my business, right? So then the next time I could be speaking to somebody else and they could say, I want my business to grow, and I could either ask more questions, but I could also reference and say, yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people, and I don't know if this is you, but a lot of people tell me they want a checklist and a roadmap, and they want to, just to get to 5K a month at the beginning, so they don't have to guess. They don't have to, they're not going down all these rabbit holes. I don't know if that's right for you. And that person might say, yeah, that's kind of what that sounds really great. And you see, you've already made a pre-sale, or a movement towards a pre-sale, because you have described the problem better than they can. You've gone deeper, and they feel as though you understand, which you actually do, because you're doing this deep work. Okay. Here's another example. I'm going to give you a messaging framework that you just could model this. So let's say somebody said, here, I'm going to give you the implied. Let me just go back to notes here, or the comment. Just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Here's another example of the implied need. Implied is, I just want more freedom. You see how vague that is? More freedom is different for everybody, and it's different for your market as it is for my market. I would say that pretty much everybody in the world wants more freedom. Any business that you're in, that you're helping with, it's pretty much, I want more freedom. Even if it was, a doctor fixing a broken leg or something, I still want more freedom, because I want to be able to get up and walk, or take another hike or whatever, right? So I don't know where I was going with that, but you get what I mean, right? More freedom doesn't really mean anything, but here's what really means. So here's the ask. What eats up your time now? Right? So if somebody asks me or tells me that they want more freedom, then I'm going to say, what's taking up your time now? Why do you need more freedom? And they might say, I need an easy process for getting clients, so I stop wasting hours on calls with people who never buy. Pretty explicit, right? Do you see the difference there? Let me know with a thumbs up or something here that this is landing for you. Or if you have a question, if you need more clarity on this, please let me know, because I want to make sure that this lands for you. Okay. Now, that's one of the ways you can go down to what is they really need. So in that case, if somebody says, look, I need an easy process for getting clients so that I don't get on any calls and waste time with people who never buy, well, then maybe a quick solution for that. And this is not a sales, but this is where you could mirror back that you understand. And you could say something like, well, that's why we start with a simple 3-question qualifying filter when we get on calls, right? So right away, you can see that I've gone from the person who said, I need more freedom, and I don't want to waste time on calls. And then I've not sold the solution, but I've pre-sold the solution without ending it off with, and if you'd like to buy it from me, or if you'd like to, get in my course, or whatever. I didn't do that. I just said, well, yeah, I get that. That's why I start with a 3 filter selection process or a 3 filter question qualifying filter with everybody we talk to. And that can lead into a conversation that goes deeper. And then we say, wow, that's cool. Like, how does that work? And then this is where a lot of marketers mess up when they're trying to do something like this. They will say, well, I mean, you could buy it and we can get on a call, or let's get on. I don't do that. What I do is I give them more of the solution. Say, hey, this is kind of how it would work. Or I might dig deeper. Okay. So anyway, it's hard to kind of coach it live like this without really talking to you personally. But hopefully you're getting what I'm talking about here is how you can go a little bit deeper with your conversations. Let me just see what else I have here. Oh yeah. Okay. So this links to the stages of awareness. And I have all kinds of stuff on my YouTube channel, by the way, for 5 Levels of Awareness by Eugene Schwartz. So I won't repeat it here. But if you're not familiar with it, go watch that on my YouTube channel. If you are familiar with it, still go watch it, because it'll remind you that it's so important, those 5 levels. Once you understand those 5 levels, you'll know who you're talking to. But most of the audience is trapped in problem aware. Like, that's where they are. That's implied needs. And I teach this all the time, because I talk about where marketers or people who really are not, savvy too much in marketing, and they're not a geek like me, and they're like, I've been doing this marketing for so long. They go from problem, which is, hey, I want more freedom, or I need more clients, thinking that that's the problem, to try and sell, and they skip over the solution aware, the product aware, all those other stages, and it never really works. So you need to really understand. You need to move them along the path, whether even if it's within 10 minutes or 10 hours or 10 days, 10 months, or it doesn't matter. But you're moving them from the problem aware to the solution aware, which is what I just said there. Okay, well, that's why when we get on calls, we have a 3-step filtering process, and here's what it looks like. Here you can use it, right? That's what I mean. So your job as a communicator is to bridge them from the solution, from the problem aware to the solution. So you're giving them the solution, and this is not necessarily where you're just saying, "Go buy this thing. I've got the solution. Go buy it." You share the solutions, and this is where you can shine over everybody else, because everybody wants to keep the stuff to themselves. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple more examples of the implied needs and explicit needs. And by the way, if you're watching and just joined us, I have all these in my notes here, and I'm happy to share the notes with you. Just drop the word notes in the comments, and I will make sure that you get the notes and you can follow all the stuff that I'm talking about. And I'm going to give you a bonus prompt that you could use inside AI to help you with this in just a few minutes. So here's another one. This is an implied need. I'm drowning in client calls. That sounds like a problem, right? It sounds like, wow, this is what they're doing. And you could go out there and you can create marketing that says, hey, are you drowning in clients? Well, this is what the solution is. That's okay, but it's better if you say so, if you say and understand that they know that they want a scheduling system that gives them 2 free afternoons per week, gives them back, right? So that is huge. That's why if you've looked at my marketing, I'm not talking about just getting freedom. I'm talking about you're going to get 96% of your time back when you work with me. We're going to eliminate 96% of all the other crap and overwhelm that all the other stuff is doing, taking your time. All the funnels, all the automations that you got to build, all the tech, all the SEO thingies and everything else. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm just saying, hey, if you want to be drowning in all that stuff, then you can go do all that. Or you could buy back 96% of your time, do 4% of the actions that I'm going to show you that is specific to you, that will move the needle in your business, the 96% that you're just taking away, and you buy back all that freedom, right? So I'm being very specific. That's why I use that number. I don't just say, hey, you can get more freedom. Okay. There's another implied needs. My course isn't selling. That's an implied need. It's standard. Like everybody else would use it. Is your course not selling? Well, I've got the course seller program, or the course seller solution blueprint, right? to help you. But it's better. I want to fill my beta program with 5 clients next month. Isn't that way more specific? So when I'm talking about And you see this, like if you watch any of my stuff, if you read any of my stuff, you see me talking about this. When I talk about solutions and people say, I'm just starting out, it's not working, whatever, I'm always referencing, hey, you got to do some beta tests or beta situations. All you needed to do is get 5 to 10 clients and charge them $1,000 or more. You co-create, like I'm telling them the solution rather than your course isn't selling. Oh, okay. Well, you got to create landing pages. You got to, like, I don't go into all of the general stuff. I go specific on what people need to actually do. Because first of all, I've been doing it for the last 5 years. I know what works. And secondly, it's specific. So they can see that either they agree with it or they're intrigued with it or not. Okay. One more. I'm overwhelmed by tech. I hear this one all the time. I'm overwhelmed by tech. So then it would be, I need a 1-page checklist for launching my next webinar, no fluff. That is specific. So I can still reference tech. I can still say, hey, if you're overwhelmed with tech and you're doing webinars and it's not selling and you're overwhelmed with the tech to do the webinar, well, all you need is a 1-page checklist for launching that next webinar without any of the fluff. Here's whatever. Here's the checklist. And that is what I'm talking about when it comes to implied needs over explicit needs. Now, I promised you that I was going to give you a prompt that you could use within ChatGPT. Probably ChatGPT is one of the best ones to use it for, but you could use it for whichever one you want to. And I am now building out AI, the enhanced AI version of Atlas. And these are the things that I'm sharing with them, and I want to share some with you as well. And the only reason we're doing this is not to have AI replace us. It's actually to help us speed up the process. Because before, we would have to do a lot of this work manually. And now AI is, in my opinion, one of the best brainstorming partners we have. And it's not telling us what to do. And I won't even get into teaching it all about you. That's a whole other discussion. But when it knows enough about you and your business, it can help you. But it also is pretty smart. So in this case, you still have to feed it data. Okay, so that's the underlying, I guess the underlying rule of everything that's going to make you stand out using AI, or else you're just going to sound like everybody else because it scrapes everything else. And I see this every single day. Like this AI wrote that. It's like, it doesn't have any depth to it because they don't teach AI enough about themselves. I'm talking about the user. So in this case, you don't have to really spend a lot of time teaching it as long as you have some data on the explicit needs, or the implied needs, I should say. So if you did some market research, hopefully you're doing that. If you haven't, talk to some clients or put a document together that has some of those implied needs that I talked about. I want more clients. I feel overwhelmed. I'm stressed out, burnt out, like that kind of stuff. And then you can upload it into ChatGPT and have it extract what it could mean. So here is the prompt. And then, like I said, put the word notes in the comments and I will give you these notes and you can just copy and paste the prompt right here. But the prompt is, I have a list of implied client needs. For each one, rewrite it as an explicit specific need or request that could be directly solved with a service offer or a clear action. Actually, this should say with my service offer or clear action. That's what you want. That's why you want to be able to teach AI about your program and service. Push for as much clarity, detail, and outcome focus as possible. Here is the list. And then you paste your list in. And then it will give you, the two examples. Here's the implied, here's the explicit, what it could mean. And then it's your job not to just take it for granted. So they look at that and say, okay. And if you have to challenge the AI, go ahead and challenge it. And one of the ways you could challenge it or ask it to be a little bit more clear is this. If you need to, ask clarifying questions to turn any vague statement into a laser-focused, actionable need. That's the prompt that you could use. I'm sure there's many other ways to prompt it, but that's how you can do it. So there you go. What did you think? Implied needs over explicit needs. And if you want the notes from this show, I'm happy to share them with you. I hope this was of value to you, and hopefully to see you back next Tuesday for another heart-centered marketing show. And have yourself a great, great week. Bye for now.